Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar. You liar.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Thursday. It is the afternoon. You know, I do my best. No, I won't go that far. I do an adequate job, I think, of trying to bring you positive news stories here and there. I don't just want it to be some doom and gloom. The world's going to end. We're all going to die. Cry me a river of fucking tears. No. But you know, from time to time, we hear good things and we want to talk about the battle we're engaged in, because we are in a battle. And many believe a war, and still fewer of us believe world war. But, you know, we're here. Here we are. So it's good to talk about some of the good things that are happening, I believe, to show that we are engaged. We're making a difference, but the battle is very, very real. And interestingly, we have multiple armies on the battlefield, right? These pro-Gaza, pro-terrorist. And I hope I don't belabor that too much, but they are terrorists, right? They're not on the side of the Democrats, even though those people on that side have a Democrat mentality. Plus, they bring in their whole low IQ. I don't know if we want to call that a positive attribute or not, but they bring in that low IQ. Anyways, the Democrat Party, as well as the Rhino Republicans, but I just include the rhinos with the Democrats, and that way I just call them out as Democrats. The Democrats are panicking. They're scared to death because these protests by these pro-Gaza sacks of shit, they will not go away. They're not quitting. And it's making the Democrats look bad. It's making Democrat, colleges, they're all Democrat, mayors, governors, and the president himself. That's right. Let's go Brandon himself. Looks like crap. And in fact, the Democrats are saying that the country is moving to the right. You know, I don't agree with that. Let's take the good news where we can get it and understand that maybe people that normally would be centrist or they're mild Republicans, they're not happy with what they're seeing. They don't like their food being more expensive or their gas prices as high as they are. They don't like the idea of civil unrest in a country that's so generous. So it's pissed them off. But has it pushed them over to the way you and I think, that they need to be prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine? Bam, bam. No, they don't get pushed that far, but it is waking them up. Now, other people that are on the borderline between should I prep or not? Is that Ooman guy right? Or is he crazy? We're not going to blame Ooman. It's me. Is John a bad guy or a good guy? Does John know what he's talking about? Right? It's pushing them over to the side of prepping. And that's where we're going to make our biggest, we could say, gains in waking people up and then helping them come over and realize the trouble we're in. The Democrats realize that politically they're in trouble because moderate Republicans and even some moderate Democrats are going to vote Trump. They won't tell their dumbass Democrat friends and family and coworkers, but they'll vote for Trump, a lot of them. But we have a shit pile of work in front of us, folks. I am going to sit back and watch as these losers of the left watch these pro-terrorists continue to make them look bad. Now, I mean, what's incredible is they keep telling us, the left, what they're going to do. And this is where I come to you guys and I say, listen, let's really sit down and talk about this. Right? Through the 1970s, the John Birch Society told everyone to wake up. Through the 1980s, Spotlight magazine joined the John Birch Society and other groups. This is all pre-internet, folks. They came together and said, hey, look, the United Nations bad. There's this thing called the Bilderberg Group. There's the Trilateral Commission. There is the Council on Foreign Relations. These groups exist, and they're going to push and try and destroy America. And then we continued into the 90s with the internet and the well, actually, no, I need to stop. The early 90s, pre-internet, Bill Clinton, the radical left, big bureaucracy, ATF, anti-gun, Barbara Feinstein. Is it Barbara Feinstein? Dianne Feinstein. Where the fuck did Barbara come from? Dianne Feinstein and the assault weapons ban, totally unconstitutional, finally sunsetted, thank God. The Supreme Court stepped in since then and said, you know what, fuck you, you can't do that. Will not do that again. Isn't it amazing how many things the government does that we find out are illegal? Unconstitutional means government is forbidden. It means the government has violated right. It means the government is wrong. It means the government broke the law. The Constitution is the law. If the government violates that, they have broken the law. I violate the driving laws, I go to jail. I pay a fine or go to jail. They break the law, who gives a fuck? There needs to be a penalty. Folks, that would stop so much shit if there was a fucking penalty. Right? Penalty. You mess up, you pay a penalty, you go to jail, your insurance goes up. The government breaks the rules, violates the law, no penalty, no accountability. Fuck them. Anyways, so we've watched this progression of having the United Nations, the Democrat hippie party coming together, then the Bilderbergs building their thing, and then we got this giant push with the Clintons in the 90s and gun control, and they attacked and murdered children, and then they went after the Patriot movement because we woke up and said, hey, knock that shit off. And they kept pushing us left, and then comes gay marriage, and then 9/11. You got to accept us and be tolerant, and all that. They keep pushing us to the fucking left, right? And then you go, look, you guys have come so far. You're trying to take all our rights. They're like, oh, don't give us that slippery slope stuff. It's common sense. It's not. The common sense is look what they did. Look where they've come from. Look where they want to go. Look at where we're at. Right. And I don't feel like having a boot on my head or in my neck or up my ass the rest of my life from government. So let's take what we know about left-wing socialist government and elite cocksuckers, the World Economic Forum. And then let's examine on this side these terrorists. Oh, we're just protesters. We're mostly peaceful protesters, right? BLM, Antifa, radical Black Panther type groups out there that are armed militia, militant types, all extreme socialist left-wing crap. Then they got these pro-Hamas terrorists now. And we're supposed to believe that they're just going to stop. They're going to get what they want and stop. You know what they're saying? Yeah, just give us a chance. We're just protesters. We have our voices. We need to be heard. Folks, slippery slope. It is not a logical fallacy when it comes to fucking communists. Give them a chance. Good idea. Is it a good idea to give these people breathing room? To give them a warning? The answer is no. The answer is no. In battle, in war, when the enemy is losing, you rush forward and crush them and destroy them. You do not give them a chance to breathe. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing and destroy the enemy. Right? I mean, this was crazy. At George Washington University, GW in Washington, D.C., the statue of George Washington, guess what? It still has a Palestinian terrorist rag of a flag on it. It still has the terrorist, it's a green piece of shit. What's it called? The keffiyeh or whatever the hell it is. A green piece of shit with some Arabic writing on it. They don't even put their shit in English. You know what it says? We're stupid fuckers. We need to be exterminated. That's what that actually says. Fucking people. Anyways, the flag is still on George Washington. That other terrorist garb and crap is still thrown over his head. And only, folks, apparently only Representative Lauren Boebert has tried to do something about it. I want to know, where's Congress? Where is all of Congress on this? Why aren't they looking out for? Why aren't they sticking up for? Why aren't they defending and protecting our heritage, our laws, our Constitution, and our heritage? Heritage is tradition and culture, and it's part of our law. It operates within the law. That's how the juries know what to do. When government has an unconstitutional rule that they try enforcing, the knowledgeable populace, as a jury, is supposed to say, we know what our traditions and culture are, so we understand how you, the government, have violated our law. Fuck you. And that's what happened with that old man, what's his name, George Kelly, in Arizona. The jury said, ain't fucking doing it. Sorry. You have a right to defend yourself, protect yourself and others. And not that they could even prove that he shot the round of ammunition that hit the illegal. That's just the accusation. No evidence. Anyways, where's Congress to stick up for our traditions, our culture, our heritage? Where's the police? In fact, you know, the military, a military unit, be they Army or Marines, could show up at George Washington University. They could arrive in formation, a platoon of Marines, a platoon of soldiers, and march up. And if they are interfered with, they could beat the ever-loving shit out of these people for assaulting them. They are, after all, free Americans, just like me and you. They should be able to walk right up to that statue and take all that shit off of George Washington, the first constitutional president. George Washington, general of the colonial army that defeated the British, the greatest military of their time. They wore them down. They defeated them the same way, well, the same way the Viet Cong defeated the United States military, the same way the Afghanis defeated the Soviet communists in the 1970s and 80s, the same way. The military could remove that outrageous dune disguise. But no one is. Why the fuck not? Why not? Folks, we are at war with these people. We need to stop acting like it's a joke or it'll just fix itself. I'm not going anywhere near Washington, D.C., because apparently just being in Washington, D.C. constitutes a grave and, what do they call that? You know, they consider that a grave threat, a clear and present danger to the Biden administration. Talk about a thin-skinned pussy. He's afraid of Americans. Good God. Anyways, these terrorists won't go away. They won't go away. In fact, we now have Iran, the country of Iran. Their Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever the fuck his name is. They're offering to give university scholarships to students who were expelled because they're pro-Palestinian terrorists. They're in the United States and they're pro-Palestinian terrorists. They're not students. If they were students, this was brought to me today by a guy, a 62-year-old guy. His name is Ralph, lives in Florida. Nice fella. And he said, you know what? They're not students. He said, if they were students, they'd be in class, John. I'm like, that's a great fucking point, Ralph. If they were students, they'd be in class. They wouldn't be hanging around, destroying shit, chanting and protesting and all that. Anyways, I believe these students should be more than just expelled. Expelled? That's just a start. They need to be deported, even if they're so-called Americans. Let them go to school in Iran. Let them accept Iran's offer of scholarships and go learn in Iran and try pulling their bullshit in Iran. If they get mad at the Iranian government, let them protest the Iranian government. See how far that gets them. Enjoy Iran, fuckheads. Or go to Afghanistan. Go there. Why don't you go to the United Arab Emirates and say, gay pride, we accept and love Palestinians, and yeehaw, and find out which roof you get thrown off of. So Iran is offering scholarships. In other words, They're throwing money back at these kids to keep them in some school somewhere so they can protest. Remember, are you thinking? How much money did Joe Biden give Iran? And it's like, no, he promises. It's Joe Biden. The leader of Iran, the Ayatollah, he said that he's not going to use it for terrorism. Really? It's like telling me, John, here's $1 million. Don't have a good time with any of that money. And be like, oh, that's the first fucking thing I'm going to do is have some fun. Right? Anyways, here we are. We have a foreign country full of terrorists that is offering to give aid and comfort to domestic terrorists who are burgeoning slowly, but eventually maturing into full-grown communist pieces of shit. Are you prepared? Now, once again, for years, we have been saying there's this circle. You live in the center, but there's a circle, and the circle is a 10-mile radius. You're right in the middle. You're the point in the middle of a circle. Who is in that 10-mile radius? Because they can march to your house in one day. Those are the most dangerous people in your world. If you're near a college, right? If you're near a bunch of a scumbag, I'm going to use the term ragtag idiots, like a lot of places in Minnesota have these communities of anti-American, pro-Muslim, and folks, they fucking hate America. And they want Sharia law, and they want women, if you're not escorted by a man, you need to be raped. They want all of their rules. Are you prepared for that? So yeah, again, it's where you live. Now, there aren't any full colleges within 10 miles of my place, but you know, one college here in Florida has multiple locations out of which they operate their college. Multiple locations. And one of those locations is within my 10-mile radius. You think I'm not aware of that shit? Well, you bet your ass I am. Have I seen one fucking idiot with a tablecloth or a diaper wrapped around their head? The answer is no. But I think we should kick these people the fuck out. And how the hell is Iran going to funnel money to universities or students? They are... they're excluded. They're sanctioned. They are not in our system. You know, so this offer is hollow. This offer is bullshit. But it also does what? Their offer is to encourage American scumbags to continue to hate this country. All right. This was sent to me by Chin Music, and it was posted by Bill Malugin. And Fox News has obtained a Google Doc with a list of needs that protesters at the UCLA camp are requesting. They want vegan and gluten-free food. They want super bright flashlights with strobes. They want rope and zip ties. They want helmets, shields, and wood. They want lotion, but no sunscreen. And then they want knee and elbow pads. You know what it sounds like to me? Sounds like they want to arm themselves for conflict with police and any patriotic Americans. Flashlights with strobe are used to blind people and disorient them. Helmets, shields, and wood pretty much speaks for itself. Rope and zip ties is for arresting and even hanging people, detaining them. And then knee and elbow pads is also, it's armament or armor or defensive material, so that they can get thrown around, they can fight off the ground, etc., and not hurt their little knees and elbows. This is what they're doing, folks. They're gearing up. They are gearing up. Within 15 feet of where I sit right now in the Prepared Mind studio, this is Studio A, America. Anyways, I've got enough equipment and gear and stuff to go take these clowns on. But that's really not what we need. What we need is Americans to wake the hell up and get prepared. Everything else is going to take care of itself. Everything else. Now, where are we at time-wise? At the 20-minute mark. I hope you are ready to talk. Get your questions down below. Tomorrow is Free-for-All Friday, but today, 30-minute monologue, 30 minutes of what you guys want to discuss. That's what you want to discuss. Now, fuck. Let's do this. Let's have some fun. Age 26. Take a wild guess. A New York-born chef, Joey Fecky, died during the Nashville Marathon. 26 years old. Toast. Gone. Dead. And Darcy T, of course, lets us know that a cricket player, which is basically a British baseball, super athlete, 20 years old. His name was Josh Baker. Oh, it was an untimely passing. 20-year-old super athlete dead. Dead. No cause of death has been provided. What do you think? Take a wild freaking guess. Take a wild guess. Now, not only is Europe, America, Canada trying to destroy itself, the United States government and the World Economic Forum, they want to destroy Japan. Have you heard much about Japan in recent years? Probably not. Probably not. They're still a massive superpower economically, and they're an ally of the United States, but now Biden is shitting on them. Okay, Biden and the United States government in Washington, D.C. tried bullying Russia. How did that go? They tried bullying the Middle East. How did that go? Or out of Iraq, out of Afghanistan, out of everywhere. Everywhere it's kicking the United States out. They just got kicked out of Niger. So now Biden is pissing off Japan and calling them xenophobic for not wanting mass immigration of the worst sacks of shit, worthless, and I mean worthless piece of people, worthless pieces of shit people. And this is what he accuses them. He says, hey, you're hurting your economy. Okay, Biden telling someone else that they're hurting their own economy is like Jeffrey Dahmer criticizing Hannibal Lecter for not finishing his meal. Right? It's like Biden is destroying our energy system, our energy supply, our energy infrastructure. He is destroying everything he can. On top of that, he's allowing illegal immigrants in. And he wants to criticize Japan and then tells them they're hurting their own economy. What do you think bullying Japan is going to do to the relationship between Japan and the United States of America? I anticipate, and I'm going to predict, that if Joe keeps it up, he will push Japan to ally itself with the BRICS nations. And it's not that Japan loves China. It's not just that Japan loves Russia, even though both China and Russia are just across the Sea of Japan, along with North and South Korea, of course. Most people do not think of Russia as being off the tip of northern Japan, but it's there. You see, it's the United States government and the European government all working together, sanctioning countries, bullying them, pushing them around, making demands, telling them what they can and can't do and who they can and can't do business with, are causing countries to sell United States savings bonds, United States T-bills, United States stock, whatever they can, right? People are just dumping United States trash, government bonds, T-bills. Consequently, the result of that is they're just saying, we don't need the U.S. We'll just go work with these guys over here. I mean, there's not a huge amount of love between Iran and India and other nations in that area. There's not a lot of love. I mean, in fact, a couple of years ago, there was worry that India and China were going to war because they were actually literally shooting at each other at the border in the Kashmir district. Yet they are all both in BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They're all in BRICS together, even though they're basically enemies. It's because they have a more, shall we say, destructive foe that they share in common, and that's the United States government in Washington, D.C. It's the European Union out of Brussels. They're a bigger threat, so they have decided to join together. I expect Japan to join BRICS, to ally themselves, to consider them a better trading partner, because a fucking slob, a piece of shit, a child molester, allegedly, Joe Biden, wants to criticize him, call him xenophobic. It's not xenophobic. It's Japan knows better. I mean, how can Japan not look at Europe and see what it's done to itself by allowing these pieces of shit in? In fact, in France, guess what? In France, right now, in France, Marxist Antifa piece of shit demonstrators. They're not demonstrators. They're fucking terrorists. They're not protesters. They're fucking terrorists. They are fighting violently with police. Why would Japan want any of that? Why would they want Antifa to go on world tour and then make a home out of Japan? I think this is going to, look, countries with a strong sense of national pride, a strong sense of national tradition and culture, like Russia, like Japan, like Iran, like China, like these countries don't want to invite in the mixing pot. In fact, the older I get, the more of this cultural melting pot I find to be absolute horseshit. Absolute horseshit. We need to be a melting pot. It makes us stronger. No, it doesn't. Europe is an example of bringing in and melting a bunch of shit in there. Okay, listen. If you had a delicious meal and you said, we're gonna sprinkle some shit in there, and it's gonna make it better. It'll make us stronger and more united and gooder. No, you put a little bit of shit in a pot full of food, you turn the whole pot rotten. Shit doesn't make things better. And when I say shit, I'm talking about these people, that these worthless dregs of humanity who have been foisted out of their own crap hole countries in Central and South America, in Africa, in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia. All of these people are the shit that are getting flushed by their own countries, and they're telling the rest of the world, please take it. Take our garbage. They are human debris. Does that sound too rough? Well, wait till human debris robs you. Wait until human debris rapes your daughter. Wait until human debris sets your town on fire. You're not going to think of it as anything, folks, anything better than human debris. I mean, that's a nice way of putting it, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, we're rolling up. We're rolling up on 30 minutes. Are you prepared? Are you seeing this for what's happening? The University of Washington, folks, which has a pro-Palestine group, they canceled their encampment. They canceled, get this, they canceled their protest and terror actions because they were too white. That's right, folks. The encampment for Gaza support didn't have enough Muslim and Arab students. Someone today told me that there's a bunch of Asians. They're a big, big part of this. Well, folks, don't be surprised. There are a lot of Asian communists out there. There's a lot of Asian Muslims out there. Don't be surprised. These encampments need to be destroyed and torn down. I'm very proud of the state of Florida because, Homeless people aren't allowed to camp. And publicly camping wherever you want publicly is not allowed. It's a crime. If you want to camp, you go to a campground and you camp. You don't set up tents in public and then say, I'm camping. It's not a camp. It's a fucking terrorist occupation of collegiate property. Are you prepared for what's coming next? It's just going to get nastier and worse. Nastier and worse. Yeah. And Japan is xenophobic because they're smart. These fucking people. I tell you, they're that stupid, folks. They're that stupid. Okay, let's do this. It is going to be that time. It is that time. It is time for the inner circle. I can't believe how stupid people are, folks. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. How hard is that? thepreparedmind.club, CLUB.club. Go there and get what you need. In addition to those items, right? It also includes communications gear. It also includes solar-powered charging, batteries, solar panels, electricity. We've got our hands full. We truly do. Mr. Uman, it is Thursday, man. How are you today? He's right down here, folks. He says, but what was the lotion for? Inquiring minds need to know. Well, understand, Mr. Uman, that people who are being oppressed are typically people of color. So do not send sunscreen to all these white-skinned liberal fucksticks. And don't send lotion to protect those with very pale Asian skin. They need to get a good sunburn, a good tan, so they're all people of color, so they can unite and stand in communist, terrorist, Marxist, Muslim solidarity. That's what they need. That's why they need the lotion. Also, to make themselves feel better. And here we are. Chin Music says, lotion and knee pads, Uman. Stocking up for Pride Month right around the corner. We got Pride Month coming again. Wasn't it just 2 fucking months ago? I mean, didn't we just have Pride Month? And how proud can you be as a man for sucking a dick? How proud can you be for bending over a railing and saying, nail me in the ass? How proud can you be for looking like a fucking clown with your face painted up? How proud can you be denying your own gender that you're born with and saying, geez, I don't know what I am? How proud can you be for cutting your own tits off? How proud can you be for being a fucking embarrassment to your own family? How proud can you be for sounding like a woman but having a big burly mustache? How proud can you be for taking your balls and shoving them up between your ass cheeks as far as you can, and then securing it in place with your dick, so you've got a complete weenie tuck? How proud does that make you? And you have so much pride in all of those things that you need a whole fucking month to celebrate. A whole month, like a day is not enough. How proud can you be? And then look at how many of these fucking pieces of shit are murderers, murdering their families. How proud can you be as a tranny to murder your own dad, mom, parents, sisters, brothers, friends? How proud can you be to be a mass murdering sack of shit, right, while you're taking your trans drugs? How proud can you be? Where's their pride in any of that? In violently threatening people on the street for looking at you because you're a fucking living example of mental retardation and disturbing levels disturbing levels of mental disorders. I mean, they don't just have one. You can't be proud as a fruitcake until you've got at least 3 certified mental disorders, and then you're great. I mean, how proud can you be of these people you're seeing, drag queens. You're proud of that shit? Wearing fucking horns coming out of your head, fucking pied on makeup. That's pride. And then shaking your genitals in a child's face. That makes you proud? Are you proud to distribute homosexual coloring books to children in schools? That makes you fucking proud? I think I fucking did. Did I beat that dead horse enough? Did I kick it in the chin enough? Good God. Anyways, back to chin music. Lotion and knee pads, man. You know, that's actually, they heard. What they did is they heard about those North Carolina frat boys, that fraternity in North Carolina that saved the American flag from hitting the ground, got rid of the bullshit Palestinian crap. Right? There was a GoFundMe that was set up. And I think they're up to $300,000 in reward money for sticking up for America. See, that's interesting. People really want America to be saved and salvaged. They're just not willing to do anything about it. But these young men were, and God bless them for that. America owes them a debt of gratitude and apparently a kegger or two. So the protesters at UCLA and other colleges, they need lotion and knee pads because no one is giving them money like it would Give, Send, Go, or all right. So they need to make money the old fashioned way, on their knees and giving hand jobs with lotion. That's what they need. There you go. Because they need food. No one's bringing them food. You know what? Fuck them. Let them eat grass. Or eat the bugs. There you go. Eat the bugs in grass. Someone needs to drop off a truckload of really filthy, moist bark, and they can dig through the bark and look for fucking beetle grubs. That's what they deserve to eat, right? Oh, well, hey, we don't want their carbon footprint to be increased, so the less we feed them, the less carbon dioxide they're going to fart and breathe. I think that's great. All right, let us continue. Thank you, Mr. Ooman. Thank you, Chin Music, for that. And we're going to slide on into the next conversation with Badass Diving Frog. And he says, hey, John, can we take these people to Leavenworth and let them help Fred and Wilmer have pebbles? I wish. Leavenworth is a military prison, I believe, for the United States Army. Everyone's heard of Leavenworth, I'm sure. These people, if they're terrorists, they are a domestic enemy. A domestic enemy. I don't care who arrests them, whether it's law enforcement, domestic police, or whether it's National Guard or State Guard, or whether it's the military. They need to be rounded up and excused, if you will, with handcuffs. They need to be taken out of the country. You see, the government has one very important job. And that job is to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Everyone who swears an oath when they take up duty with the government, employment, that is their job, to protect us against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Here we are. We have domestic enemies. Yes, whether they're taking Leavenworth. Look, I'm an equal opportunity. Let's clear these fucking scumbags out of here. Send them to Guantanamo Bay. Look, send them to Diego Garcia in the middle of the Indian Ocean. The fucking rock. Look up Diego Garcia, folks. Look it up. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It's known as the Rock. They need to be taken out of our country so they are no longer a threat, no longer a problem, no longer a burden, no longer murdering and harassing people, no longer setting shit on fire. Oh, that's coming. Do you have any doubt at this point? Slippery slope, folks. Slippery slope. Democrats have taken us right down to where Black Lives Matter, burning, looting, murdering is mostly peaceful. What do you think they're going to do with all these fucking jihadis? Right? These are not friendly Muslims. These are not family Muslims. These are people who are avowed terrorists, who have sworn allegiance to terrorism. They need to be shot. As far as Fred and Wilmer and Pebbles, yeah, they need to take big rocks and make them into little rocks with hammers. That needs to be their job. Okay, let us continue if we shall. We got Uman. He says, it sure was fun watching the removals this morning. Loved the circus being removed. Clowns screaming, police, po-po brutality, po-po brutality, because they're resisting arrest. You know, it's maybe if I were to hit one of these fucking people in their jaw, it wouldn't kill them, folks. And I don't want to kill anybody. I'm a nice guy. But it would teach them a lesson, and they may not want to show back up. But I'm gonna give you this clue, please. Please understand me. That when I was in extreme Northern California and BLM rolled into my little rural town, and they started marching up and down the streets, waving signs, demanding people take a knee, talking shit. Flipping off people that they thought were being cute, right? They think, oh, well, they flipped me off. Don't fucking fuck with me. Even the old men that were walking around with them, by old, I mean 50, 60-year-old men, they were getting all fucking uppity. They want to get fucking uppity with me. They got uppity, folks. They got my license plate and they called the police on me because they're a bunch of fucking pussies. But they're violent. They will resist arrest. They will commit acts of terror. Murder, burning, looting, rape. It's coming. It is coming. Are you prepared for it? It's fun to watch them get their asses kicked. I would love to be able to apply a little bit of street justice. I think a lot of them would change their mind about how they feel about Americans and about whether or not these people can win. Folks, again, understand, just like Antifa, there's thousands of them, yes, spread all over the country. Now, there are approximately 10 million illegal aliens that are here. And let's assume for a second that 3% of them, 3% of 10 million, don't like America and hate your guts, and that they want to get violent. That really is a big number. 300,000 illegals, if it's 3%, that hate this country and they're willing to cause terror action. That's a lot of people spread across the entire country. Are you willing to defend the country against them and their violent actions? Yeah, BLM had a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. Same with these fucking pro-Hamas terrorist types. They got a couple hundred here and a couple hundred there and a couple hundred here. They get arrested by the police. They let them go at the courthouse. They get arrested again. They let them go at the courthouse. What happens when they get overtly in your face violent? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to defend myself, those I love, my community, my city, my state. It's coming. There are going to be freedom seeds a-flying, folks. And every time a freedom seed strikes a sack of shit that hates this country, angels will blow their horns and play their harps. Because all of these sacks of shit also love abortion and killing babies. They want to burn people's houses. They want to kill you. So I will not shed a tear when they die. And they're going to. It's going to happen. Mark my word, this is going to get fucking ugly. When the Ayatollah, the Khomeini or whatever, wants to throw money at these pieces of shit, when George Soros wants to give them money, when Joe Biden wants to let them out on the street and encourage them, you know what? They're going to encourage this more rather than less. Instead of trying to get it to back off so the Democrats look good in the election, why not push these people into more violence so they cancel the election? What do you think of that shit? I don't know what's going to happen. I just know I need to be prepared. I hope you are as well. thepreparedmind.club. Get what you need there. Mr. Uman, what do we want to talk about next? What is coming? It's name redacted. And he says, John, that's my name. Don't wear it out. He says, so back to the 81 million votes not 91. I was incorrect. 81 million. Interesting how he immediately had only an alleged high 30% approval rating. More interesting is it never drops out of the 30s either. Well, name redacted. Your point is well taken. I do not believe these polls. I believe they are skewed. Look, if they can cheat in Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Delaware, well, Delaware, of course, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, if they can cheat in those states to swing them, how hard do you think it is to falsify a poll to create numbers that aren't as bad as they otherwise would be? So in other words, yeah, the 30% approval rating, I'm sure is 20 or less. But it's look, you can lead a witness, right? You can talk to someone and kind of lead them to think the way you want them to think. Right? You can say, well, let's just take Fred, for example. We'll pick on Fred. Hey, Fred, is smacking someone with a hammer, is that nice or is that bad? And Fred would go, of course, man. Smacking someone with a hammer is not good. Well, how about hitting him in the head and smacking someone with a hammer in the head? Is that good? Well, of course not, man. That's even worse than hitting them in the arm or the leg or something. Well, if you kill someone by smacking them with a hammer in the head, is that good? And Fred would be like, dude, that's murder now. How can that be possibly good? Oh, so what you're saying is violence and maiming people and killing them is very bad, right? Is that what you're saying? Fred would be like, damn right, that's what I'm saying. And I'd say, okay, well then as a Democrat, how do you support these acts of terror being committed by BLM, Antifa, and these pro-Hamas cocksuckers? He'd be like, well, Trump, that makes it okay. It's like, no, I just led you down this path, man, right? You can lead people in questioning. Well, is America a great country or a shithole? People are going to be like, oh, yeah, with Biden as president, it's pretty good. Okay, so America is a good place. Why? Well, because we've got freedoms and stuff and free porn, and we got lots of potato chips and things that are tasty. Oh, okay, so America's good and Biden's president. So is America doing great or what? Do you approve of Biden? You got chips, porn, and freedom. So you can lead someone. And of course, those are grossly exaggerated examples, but it's how you can lead someone into agreeing with you. So that's why, they don't want Biden's numbers to drop into the 20s. Holy shit, right? But who really likes what he's doing? It is a partisan conflict. It is a partisan war. People have chosen sides based on partisanship, not how strong the leader of the Democrat side is. It's all about, I hate Trump. Really, that's all they do is hate Trump. And that's all they got. But the point is also, they fucking hate you. They hate you. They hate me, of course, as well. I'm waiting for one to recognize me on the street, in a store, someplace. It's been a couple years since I think any long-haired, fucking hippie-type college freaks have recognized me. It was a couple years ago, and I was like, hey, that fucking weird, freaky-looking person's staring at me. So I stared back at him, gave him the fucking mad dog, right? They didn't say a fucking word, even though there was a group of them and only one of me. But still, they're out there. They really are. Oh, my God. Folks, this country is way different than what you and I think it is or what we would hope it could be or should be. Let me show you how government, media, censorship is fooling you into believing that you're still in America and that you're free. Did you know that there is now a second Boeing whistleblower? That's right, another whistleblower to talk about what a shitty job they're doing making these planes and how they're using inferior parts that don't match up. There it is. Dun, 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 dun. Uman says, today it was reported that another Boeing whistleblower died unexpectedly. Surprise, right? He was an inspector for a Boeing supplier. Folks, this country is not what you think it is. This is how censorship keeps information away from us, keeps us occupied with distractions. Folks, fascism is dominant in America right now. That is to say, corporations are working closely with government, and government works closely with corporations, and they don't want whistleblowers exposing them. Corporations, folks, have more power over government and subsequently us as citizens. And we as Americans don't realize it except through stories like this one. It is revealed to you now that not one, but two Boeing whistleblowers who have caught Boeing breaking the law, violating the rules, putting safety at risk. And yes, their fucking planes are falling out of the sky. Their wheels are falling off. Fucking doors coming off. The sides of the plane ripping loose. What else have I seen? Fucking fuel just pouring out of them. Flaps getting ripped off during landing and takeoff. Unfucking believable incompetence. Let's hear it for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's hear it for using third world countries for manufacturing. Yay! No. And then mega corporations. Folks, Boeing is a massive fucking corporation. Massive. Not only do they make civilian aircraft for transportation, they are a military industrial corporation. That's right, folks. They're part of the military industrial complex, as described by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. They've been around a long time, and they're very powerful. And if you fuck up, they'll just kill you. You think the mainstream media is going to run this? That's suspicious. 2 people killed that were Boeing whistleblowers. That's about as suspicious as I was just going to. Why are you guys beating me to this? Ooh, man, this comes from Jolene. She says, did the Clintons own Boeing or what? I was just going to say, this many people dying in one, shall we say, whistleblower operation is akin to the Clintons having many, many people around them accidentally shoot themselves in the back. Accidentally shooting themselves in the back of the head multiple times. Clinton associates hanging from a rope and blowing themselves through the chest with a shotgun. That's making sure you commit suicide really well. Yeah, the Clintons being Clintonized, being Arkansided. Oh, they're all in it together, trust me. Boeing and the Clintons. McDonnell Douglas and the Pelosi's. Grumman and the Bushes. Right? They're all tied together. They're all rewarding each other. It is a nepotistic system. And creepy, crawly slime bags like the Bidens and the Obamas weasel their way in there and put their hand out and then continue to reward Boeing. Where's the investigation? Right? Where's the NTSB, the National Safety Transportation Board? They should be red tagging every Boeing plane that has come off the fucking assembly line for the past 5 years and bring them in and check their fucking parts. Remember when the 737 MAX Boeing would take off and crash? Take off, go up, roll over, twist, turn, crash. Oh, yeah. A computer software issue. Doesn't that make you feel all warm and fuzzy all over? Yes, thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Ooh, man. You didn't steal my thunder. That's just extra lightning coming out of the bottle. Yep, this is where it's going. I'm telling you. It's not going to get better. Yes, we will fight. Yes, we need to politically fight. Yes, we need to be politically ready. Yes, we need to have food and water and all those other things. Yes, we need to get active. Yes, we need to wake up people. Yes, we need to prep to action. There are small victories. Americans will stand up, but don't think that the fight is over just because some frat boys save the flag. Don't think the fight is over just because some Native Americans in Los Angeles told the Palestinians to back the fuck up and to not even come anywhere near the Jews there. We got crazy times ahead of us. Mr. Uman, what else we want to talk about? All right. He says, sitting next to a liberal crybaby, worried we're going to crash in the ocean. I said, no, most likely a mountain since we're flying across the country. Fuck. Yeah, that would be it, Badass Diving Frog. That would be it. You're flying across the country. There's no oceans underneath you. But that's it. And then he continues with his story. Apparently, Badass Diving Frog had a real live sit next to a Democrat fucking moron in a plane. He says he started bawling his eyes out, begging to get off the plane, and the stewardess gave me free drinks all flight. That's a good stewardess. And I'm glad, Badass Diving Frog, you called her a stewardess. Now, I was on a plane a few years ago, and the stewardess looked like he had a 5 o'clock shadow. I mean, you know, a lot of black women have very closely cut, cropped hair, and you can tell they're women. But this stewardess woman had what appeared to me to be a 5 o'clock shadow. I was just like, stewardess, scotch, please. On another flight, yeah, I told the Bigfoot story and had a section of the plane entertained. And they brought me lots of scotch for that one as well. And that was post 9/11. You know, they weren't like, hey, this dude's a threat here. He's going to lose his shit. But it was a good story, right? In-flight entertainment. They don't do movies anymore on across-the-country flights. Wasn't flying over the ocean. Was flying over mountains and valleys. Anyways, good stuff. I'm glad that you had a good time. Glad you got drinks at least. And you should have told them, you know what? You need to help liberals understand. You should have told them something like, you know, people, when they crash in a plane, they don't die instantly. No. See, the aluminum superstructure of the plane absorbs a lot of the impact, kind of like an airbag in a car. And so you don't die. You just get, you do spin on the ground a lot and you get all chewed up and cuts and lacerations. You'll probably hit your head on a rock, or maybe a shark will get you. One of those Nebraska sharks, or maybe a Utah shark will bite you. You know, and it takes the police and ambulances and firemen at least 2 or 3 hours to get to you because of all the sharks and alligators and stuff. And so you'll be in a tremendous amount of pain because there's also all that jet fuel that'll catch on fire and burn you alive. But you won't die from it, though. I mean, it's just some skin. It's just tissue. Kind of like when you murder a baby, you know, an abortion. It's just tissue that's burning. It's not a human burning. It's just tissue. So it'll hurt for a while, like the rest of your life. If you're lucky to live, yeah, you can just fucking fuck with their heads. Literally fuck with their heads. You go, you know what? If we get in a plane crash, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your shirt off and put a I love Trump bumper sticker and stick it to your chest and put your shirt back down. So when they take you to a morgue and they get a picture, right, and send it to your family, they'll ask them to identify you with a Trump sticker on your chest, or just use a felt pen, right? Or and if they're an LGB type person, you could put on there something like, you know where to go with this, folks. Just fuck with their heads. What are they going to do? Stewardess, this conservative here. No, fuck them. Anyways, folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Fuck with these people. Open your mouth. Speak truth, fact. Don't be afraid to be an American. Don't be afraid to be a conservative. Don't be afraid to be for freedom and liberty. Don't stop being afraid. Tell people to get prepared. Stand up against terrorism. Stand up against left-wing stupidity. Stand up against Marxism. Be an American. Be proud of it. Hey, if they get a whole fucking month to be proud of being nailed in the ass playing butt darts, then I think we should be able to be proud to be Americans, regardless of our skin color, 365 days a year. Fuck you, Biden, and liberals and Democrats, everyone. And if you voted for these people, fuck you too. Chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed, Semper Fi, and I'll talk to you all later.